How many boards should you create on your Pinterest account for growth? How many group boards should you join? How many pins should you add to those boards? And much more in today's Pinterest video. Hi everyone, I'm Lydia from IncomingSuccess.com, a platform that is meant to help you start and grow your online business. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Pinterest marketing and how you can grow your Pinterest account from scratch as a beginner. In the last episode of this series, we learned how to optimize your Pinterest account for SEO and how to optimize the Pinterest profile as well. So if you're interested in that, and in learning how to grow on Pinterest organically, make sure to pause this video, watch that first and the first episode as well, and then come back to this video. You can find the link to the playlist with the full series below. As a support for this mini series on my channel, I'm using my Pinterest growth workbook. So if you're interested in getting that and learning a little bit more about it, it is a workbook that allows you to organize your content better for your Pinterest growth to be organic and consistent. So if you're interested in that, learning a little bit more about the workbook, there's a video down below that explains every single thing. And if you're interested in getting it, there's a link to purchase it below. Now let's get started. How many boards should you create on your Pinterest profile? For a brand new Pinterest profile, as you're setting it up as a beginner, I would suggest at least 15 to 20 Pinterest boards. But about those boards, what you really need to keep in mind is that they should be niched down and they should be in different categories, little categories, but that they all make part of the same big category that your business is part of. For example, if your profile and business is all about fitness, you can include boards such as healthy eating, nutrition, healthy drinks, fitness exercises for abs, fitness exercises for legs, and all those kind of categories that a person that is interested in fitness would search for on Pinterest. Another really important thing to keep in mind is that when you create those boards, you have to keep in mind that your own unique pins that you create to lead to your website should have a place, should be relevant to be added to those boards. Now let's talk a little bit about the types of boards that you need to create. And there are 3 types of boards that you need to create on your profile, and that excluding the group board. First type is your anchor board. This is an only board that you can create sections in or not. It is a board that comes first on your profile that says your business name and what the board is about. And in that board, you're only pinning your unique content. So the pins leading up to your website or your platforms. Why? Because it is really important that when somebody goes on your Pinterest profile, they have a place to find all of your pins. Next, we have the main boards that we talked about that are directly related to the niche of your profile, and make sure to create around 10-15 of those. So create boards that you'll find it really easy to pin your own content to. For example, if you write a lot of blog posts about leg exercises, you can have a board special for those types of exercises because you know that you'll also be pinning a lot of your content into that board as well. And next we have the personal boards. I suggest creating around 5 of those. And what personal boards are the popular boards, the popular topics on Pinterest, but crafted to your niche and profile. For example, a really popular topic is quotes on Pinterest, or cooking, or home decor, or fashion. But for example, if you have a profile about fitness, you can do fitness wear for the gym, fitness wear for at home. You can have a board that has something to do with fashion because fashion is a popular topic. Even if you don't pin pins about it, even if you don't write content around fitness fashion, you can still create that board because it would uplift your Pinterest profile and make it be found by more people. Next, if another popular topic are quotes or sayings, you can write something about motivational quotes for the gym. If your Pinterest profile is about fitness or going to the gym or exercising. So that is another popular topic that you are incorporating in your profile with your niche. Next, let's talk about group boards and how do you find them. I find that it's very easy to find group boards on Pinterest that are active in 2 different ways. One, you can go to pingroupie.com. You can write the topic that you want the board to have and search it by members, by popularity, by pins. And go ahead and click on the board and contact the owner or just click join on the board. But if they don't have that option, you can contact the owner and ask them to add you to their board. Make sure to write them a very professional message saying why you should be a part of that board, how will your pins collaborate to the growth of the board, and also don't forget to include your Pinterest profile link and your email link, the email that you use to sign up with Pinterest, so they can send you an invite to the group board. We're going to talk a little bit more about Tailwind and Tailwind communities in next week's episode, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that video. The second way to find a group board on Pinterest is to write the topic of a group board you would like to find and then type group board after, and make sure that when you search, click to search by board, so to search for the boards with that name. For example, if you want to find a fitness group board, all you need to do is write fitness group board, search by board, and open the boards that you think are relevant, look at the number of pins, at the number of collaborators, and also follow the rules of each board to be able to join it. Now let's talk a little bit about boards SEO, what you need to do to optimize your boards for search engine optimization. So you have two main things for SEO for the Pinterest boards, which are the title and the description. For the title, I suggest being as suggestive as possible and including the most relevant keywords in the first part of the title. For example, if you have a fitness board, don't write exercises that women would love for legs. No, write leg exercises ideas for women, because that's the first keywords that people will see. They will know that the board is about leg exercises, and then they will see for women, men, but those are secondary keywords. So make sure to include the primary keywords in the first thing of the title. And also another tip I have is to use all the space. Don't just write leg exercises as a Pinterest board name. You can write leg exercises for women, ideas and inspiration, or ideas that work, things like that. Think of a catchy title that will have more keywords than just two. It is really important to use all the space that you have available, and you can do the same thing for the description of the board. In the description of the board, make sure to not add keywords separated by a comma. You need to add a Pinterest description, a Pinterest board description that is very suggestive to what the board is about. For example, you can write, in this board you will find pins about exercises for women that you can do at home or in the gym. Just try and include as many keywords as you can, make it as cursive as you can, and just write everything naturally. Now for the board covers, what board cover should you choose for your Pinterest profile? In my opinion, you should just firstly add a few pins to each board, and then try and add a board cover for each board that will best describe what is inside that board. So use a picture that best describes what the board is about, while also trying to make them coordinated with each other so that your Pinterest profile has an aesthetically pleasing view about it. Now, how do you go about using boards? In which boards should you add your pin first to when you're pinning a new pin, when you're creating a new pin on Pinterest? So the first board that you should add a pin to is the most relevant board. So for example, you will have a pin about a maternity wear, a woman wearing maternity jeans, for example. And the pin is about buying those maternity jeans. You have two boards in which you can add that pin first to. You have women's fashion or maternity wear. You should firstly pin that pin into maternity wear, and after that repin it or schedule it with Tailwind to be repinned in the women's fashion board as well. But make sure to firstly add the pin to the most relevant board, because this is something that Pinterest picks up on, and they will take your pin as noted depending on which board you firstly add it to and how well that board is optimized for SEO as well. How many pins should you add to a board or to the Pinterest boards when you're setting up your profile for it to be well set up and you can go on with your day creating pins and everything else? I suggest at least 10 to 15 pins per board to start with, and then start scheduling more pins with Tailwind to go every single day in every single board. This will keep your account active, and I suggest pinning at least 12 pins per day with Tailwind at different hours, as I will show you in my next video. So if you don't know how to use Tailwind to grow your Pinterest account and to grow your traffic for your website and your sales, make sure to watch next week's video, in which I will be explaining a lot more about using Tailwind, boards list, scheduling pins, and all that. make sure to subscribe and press the notifications bell to be notified when that goes live. And now other daily tasks that you can do to keep your Pinterest account active, except for using Tailwind, is you can pin from the home feed every single day, some pins into relevant boards, around 4 or 5 pins per day. You can also follow people that are in your niche to let Pinterest know what your profile is about and what your interests are. So that was pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. In next week's video, as I said, we're going to talk more about Tailwind, how to use Tailwind to grow your Pinterest account, so stay tuned for that. If you want to get my Pinterest workbook to help you stay a lot more organized with your Pinterest content, make sure to check out the link below. If you want to work with me in growing your Pinterest account from scratch, setting it up, and monthly management, which means that I will be pinning for you, I will be writing all the descriptions, I will be setting up your profile and all of that. So for my Pinterest management services, you can click the link below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.